12 months ago, over 500,000 Duolingo customers told us exactly why the stock was about to lose $20 billion in market cap. The market didn't catch it until very recently. I'm going to show you how we found it and why your own customer data is probably doing the same thing right now. Here's a setup of how we did this automatically in the Dimension Labs platform at scale. We pulled over 500,000 customer reviews of Duolingo across 12 months, April 2025 through March of 2026. We used iOS App Store and Google Play reviews. Then we pulled Duolingo's 10K, their last 6 earnings calls, and every quarterly filing in the window. Then we did the one thing no one else can do at this scale. We joined the two together, customer language on one side and financial reporting on the other. If we look at Duolingo's most recent 10K filing, in the industry trend section, we can actually see that leadership is placing a big bet on AI as an accelerant for the business. But the customer side tells a very different story. This gap is this entire episode. Most analysts read 500 reviews and call it research. The platform reads all 502,269 reviews and extracted 25 structured dimensions from each one. Things like, did this review mention course quality, AI-generated content, streak anxiety, did the user threaten to cancel, or did they name a competitor, and which one? Every dimension is a queryable column. So instead of reading reviews, I can just ask the data questions. The full report is over 6,000 words. I'm going to show you the main findings that prove this whole thesis. So if we scroll to the bottom, there's 4 major findings. I'll go through the top 3. So the first finding is April 28, 2025 is when Duolingo announced this AI pivot in which they lay off all their human tutors and switch them for AI. There's a dramatic drop in customer sentiment and complaints following this event. The second finding is on October 20th, 2025, so later in the year, they actually switched the payment model from hearts to this energy points system, which actually made reviewers explicitly frame energy as a disguised paywall and introduce new friction in the product. And the last one is, because of this shift to AI and the degradation of quality, users are now talking about switching to competitors such as ChatGPT. So one of the first findings here is what I mentioned is this week of April 28th, 2025. So you have a huge 44x increase in just 7 days following the announcement of negative reviews mentioning this AI release. So you can see this dip right here and the downward spiral of the average star ratings. There's 4 main drivers driving this shift. One is complaints around AI, the trust being eroded from customers following this pivot, complaints about translators being laid off, and degradation of course quality. If we go to the next section here, we can actually see what we found in the customer reviews actually runs counter to the expectations set in the 10K from the executive team, saying advanced AI, machine learning, and data analytics capabilities will lead to compounding growth of core business metrics like DAOs and paid subscribers. So here's some verbatims we pulled out. For example, customers going AI first, they don't care about quality or users, only about profits. After an unbroken 7-year streak, time to say goodbye at last to AI slop. This second finding is around this new energy point system. So this introduction of this gamification feature of the product has actually become a retention tax. So following this release in October 20th of 2025, you have almost half of the Android reviews complaining with 1 or 2 stars about this new system and threatening to leave. Here's some verbatims as well. They switched to an energy currency. You can be halfway through a lesson and run out. The new energy battery thing is dead set garbage. I'd rather delete the app than pay for a subscription. The third finding is, where are our customers going when frustration reaches its peak? So you can see here, there's almost a 2x increase in competitors being named in the review set after this AI release. And so where are customers going? The first bucket is using an AI tutor instead, so ChatGPT or other generic LLM tutors. The second bucket is structured language learning alternatives, Memrise, Lingodeer, Mango, or some of the ones being talked about. And the third bucket you might expect is people going straight to YouTube channels, private tutors, or classrooms. And here's some of the verbatims as evidence as well. If I want to learn with an AI, I'd subscribe to ChatGPT, do your job, pay actual translators. Paywall makes learning difficult. I'm switching to Lingodeer. Now, these are very strong pieces of evidence of why the stock price actually plummeted over the last 12 months. What the causal analysis also does is it can actually forecast going forward. So here we can actually see the causal analysis predicts there's about $15 million of annual revenue at risk of churning here if the trends continue this way, month over month, quarter over quarter. An additional $16 to $30 million per year at the high end of additional spend to maintain the same growth if these additional factors are still continuing over the next few months or quarters. And so this full report is over 6,000 words. It's available in the link in the comments. But let's actually ask the agent on the left here questions anyone reading the report would actually want answered. So let me ask a question such as, what changed in customer sentiment in the week of April 28th, 2025? So we can see here, there's a huge plummeting of average star rating. The share of one-star reviews actually skyrockets right here. And actually, this is not an isolated event of just noise being introduced. The volume of reviews actually increases, so the significance is there. Let's ask another question, such as maybe which dimension is the strongest leading indicator of cancellation intent? This makes sense. So the strongest leading indicator is if someone mentions a competitor, replacing with a competitor. Specifically, values like switching to an AI tutor, like ChatGPT, a competitor considering the switch or has already switched. So here's why this matters, even if you don't care about Duolingo. Duolingo is a public company, so we could prove the model worked. The customer voice led the market by 12 months. But the same exact gap exists in every subscription business. Engagement metrics say one thing, customer language says another. The CRM doesn't know yet. If you're running a subscription business or mobile app business and your dashboards say retention is healthy, here's the question to ask. What would 500,000 of my customers say if we read every one of their conversations and joined it to my financials?